Okay, so when you think of Jennifer Lopez, what usually comes to mind first? Like global superstar, actress, singer, dancer, the whole package. But what if I told you that her estimated net worth around mid 2025 is something like $400 million? Just astonishing. It makes her one of the wealthiest, most influential celebrities out there. So today we're going to go beyond the usual headlines. We want to dive deep into how Jennifer Lopez, J.Lo, actually built this, formidable multi-million-dollar business empire, especially considering her start in the Bronx.
That's exactly right. And this deep dive, it isn't just about her entertainment career, which is obviously incredibly successful on its own. It's really a journey into understanding her business smarts, her really shrewd acumen, and these very clever diversification strategies she's used. We've looked at a bunch of different sources to kind of unpack the layers of this financial empire. And the goal is really to distill those key strategic decisions that led to that, estimated $400 million figure.
Absolutely. So if you're looking for maybe a shortcut to understanding how a global icon takes that fame and turns it into a real lasting business powerhouse, well, you're in the right place. We're here to pull out the most important bits of knowledge for you, the listener, about, leveraging a personal brand into serious wealth. Okay, let's start unpacking this. So many people remember her getting started, but maybe not that it wasn't immediately as a singer or actress. It was as a dancer, right? Most famously as a fly girl on In Living Color. That was a pretty big platform back then, but what was the strategic importance of that, the initial foundation? How did it set her up?
Oh, that's a great point, because that foundation was, key. Being a fly girl gave her huge visibility, for one, and it really proved her work ethic in what's, let's face it, a super competitive industry. And that pretty quickly led to her breakthrough in acting. What's really striking, I think, is her starring role in the Selena biopic back in '97. She got paid $1 million for that role, which was genuinely groundbreaking at the time. It wasn't just that she was the first Latina actress to command that kind of fee. It, signaled a whole new level of financial recognition for Latina talent in Hollywood. It really opened doors that were kind of shut before and after that. She was consistently earning estimates are around $10 million per project for a lot of her big roles. Think Monster-in-Law or more recently Atlas.
Wow. And if you zoom out, look at the bigger picture. Her films collectively have grossed over $3.1 billion worldwide. That's just,
Right.
it's a staggering figure. What does that tell us about her appeal, her staying power in movies? Especially when, some people probably thought she'd just be a flash in the pan initially.
Yeah, it speaks volumes, really. It shows her massive crossover appeal and her knack for picking projects that connect with a really wide audience. She consistently chose films that not only showed off her talent, but also had that broad commercial draw. And then running parallel to all that, she built this hugely successful music career. Remember her first album, On the Six, massive hit. And since then, she's sold over 80 million records globally, which just shows, again, this consistent ability to kind of evolve her sound and keep connecting with fans all over the world.
And the money for music isn't just record sales, right? I mean, her tours, Let's Get Loud, All I Have, reports say that last one grossed over $80 million. Plus, you can't forget that super lucrative Las Vegas residency she had. These aren't just concerts, they feel more like direct-to-consumer money machines.
Exactly right. Live shows, and especially a Vegas residency, they represent a very stable, high-yield income stream for an artist at her level. But, her diversification didn't stop there, even within entertainment. Yeah. She also had that big TV presence as a judge on American Idol, apparently earning something like $12 million for her first season, and then it went up to maybe $17.5 million for later seasons. And that move was really strategic too, wasn't it? It kept her constantly in the public eye, connecting with new fans, really solidifying her brand, even when she wasn't, say, putting out a new album or movie right then.
Okay, this is where, for me, it gets really interesting. The pivot. That shift from just being a performer, a star, to becoming this, visionary businesswoman, this seems to be where her real financial muscle, her prowess, truly lies, way beyond the stage and screen. How did she manage that leap so effectively?
Well, it's pretty much a masterclass in leveraging your personal brand and, crucially, spotting market opportunities. Her fragrance empire is probably the best example. Her first one, Glow by J.Lo, launched way back in 2002. And this wasn't just, another celebrity perfume. JLo reportedly insisted on being really deeply involved in creating the actual scent, making sure it felt authentic to her brand, her fans. And that kind of hands-on approach, it really set a new standard for celebrity products. It wasn't just an endorsement deal. And the results, it's generated over $2 billion in sales since it launched. Just huge. And she didn't stop there, obviously. She's released tons of successful fragrances since then, really cementing her dominance in that whole sector.
Wow, $2 billion just from fragrances. Okay, and she didn't just stick with perfume. Having basically conquered that world, she saw another chance, right?
Yeah.
Skincare.
Yeah.
Tell us about JLo Beauty.
Launching a new beauty line. I mean, that market is so saturated, it must have been a huge challenge. What were the hurdles and how did she actually break through? That's a really crucial point. The skincare market is incredibly crowded, yeah. JLo Beauty, which launched in 2021, managed to break through, I think, by really focusing on her personal glow, emphasizing her unique kind of ageless look, especially appealing, perhaps, to women over 50. And it worked. It quickly became a bestseller. Reports say it pulled in over $75 million in sales in just 2022 alone. And then the recent relaunch, JLo Beauty 2.0, apparently earned a massive $100 million in its first year. So it shows she can continue to capture and keep market share by, well, connecting with what her audience aspires to.
$100 million in the first year for the relaunch. Okay, then there's Delola. Her move into the ready-to-drink alcohol market launched in 2023. That brand is reportedly valued at over $200 million already. Now, this raises a question for me. Why alcohol? It seems kind of unrelated on the surface. What's the strategy there? What does it tell us about her approach to diversification?
It's definitely a bold move, and I think it speaks to her deep understanding of lifestyle branding. Delola taps into that booming, ready-to-drink cocktail trend. It offers a sort of lower calorie, more premium option. But this venture, it's not just about sticking your name on a bottle. It's really about extending the whole JLo lifestyle concept to a completely new consumer group. What it tells us is that for a really powerful brand like hers, sometimes the specific product might matter less than that authentic connection to the personal brand itself, as long as it aligns with the persona, you know?
Makes sense. And she also wields a lot of influence behind the camera, right? Through New York Productions, her production company founded way back in 2001. It's been involved in various films and TV shows like Shades of Blue, The Boy Next Door, and she even signed a multi-year deal with Netflix to produce content. So what's the strategic upside of controlling her own content like that?
Oh, the strategic advantage is immense. New York Productions lets her control the narrative first off. She can create roles that suit her, that she wants to play. And crucially, she gets a share in the back-end profits.
Yeah.
It fundamentally shifts her position from just being, talent for hire to being a content owner and producer that gives her way more creative control and much bigger financial potential. It's a really smart long-term play, especially in today's media world where content ownership is king. And if you connect this to the wider picture of wealth building, her savvy with endorsements and investments is just as important. She consistently lands these huge, lucrative endorsement deals, brands like L'Oreal, Versace, Coach, often earning millions for each campaign. But beyond that, she's also an active angel investor. She's put money into companies like Super Coffee, Archer Aviation, the financial platform Acorns.
Right, that's a really fascinating layer. So she's not just earning massive fees from performing or endorsing, she's actively participating in the growth of other businesses. What does that tell us about her approach to building wealth beyond just her direct earnings?
It tells us she's thinking not just like a celebrity, but like a true capitalist, really. Angel investing shows a mindset that understands growth, innovation, and again, diversification of capital. These aren't just passive things, they're often strategic bets on future trends, on promising companies. It adds another really powerful dimension to her whole multi-layered approach to wealth. She's not just consuming wealth, she's actively involved in creating it across all these different sectors.
So when you add all this up, the entertainment, the brands, the investments, what does it mean for her personal wealth outside of the businesses themselves? We still hear Jenny from the block, but her real estate portfolio paints a very, very different picture, right?
Absolutely. Her real estate holdings are, impressive. They're a clear reflection of her success and definitely a key part of her wealth management strategy. Her portfolios included things like a really swanky penthouse in Manhattan, properties down in Miami, these sprawling estates in LA and the Hamptons. These aren't just houses, they're high-value assets. To give you some specifics, she bought an 8-bedroom mansion out in the Hamptons for $10 million back in 2013. And then there was a home in Bel Air for $28 million in 2016. So you see a pattern, right? Acquiring prime properties, which generally appreciate pretty significantly over time.
And the most recent one, the one with Ben Affleck, a huge $61 million estate in Beverly Hills just last year in 2023. I mean, that's a serious, serious investment.
It absolutely is. And if you sort of summarize her total real estate assets, the estimates put them somewhere around $97 million. So that really underlines how her overall success and that diversification strategy extends into these tangible, high-value physical assets. It's a strategic move. holding physical assets that can grow in value and provide, long-term stability for her whole financial empire.
It's really incredible when you lay it all out. Jennifer Lopez's journey, from those beginnings in the Bronx to becoming this global superstar with an estimated $400 million net worth. It's just remarkable. It highlights, obviously, her dedication, her immense talent, but maybe even more crucially, her really sharp entrepreneurial spirit and that strategic thinking.
Yeah, what's truly fascinating, I think, is her ability to just consistently reinvent herself and diversify where her money comes from, moving way beyond those traditional entertainment roles into creating products, making smart investments. Her story really illustrates the power of taking fame and turning it into a genuine, lasting business enterprise. It ensures she has this enduring presence and financial clout in a world that's always changing, because she's actively managing both her brand and her capital.
So maybe here's a final thought, something provocative for you, the listener, to consider. How can those principles we've talked about, diversification, leveraging a brand, that hands-on involvement, the strategic investments that Jennifer Lopez demonstrates so clearly, how could those maybe be applied in your own life, your own pursuits, whether they're personal or professional? How could you use them to build your own kind of lasting, empire?